I am the lucid dream, the monster in your nightmares, the fiend of
1,000 faces. Cower before my true form! Bow down before the god of death!
The beast with 1,000 maws, that which must not be named. After defeating Cthulhu in the sands to the south and killing Yasharaj with their Mogu constructs, the Titans realized the old gods were tied to the land. Killing the old gods would destroy the planet. So when faced with the remaining gods, the Titans were forced to imprison them beneath the earth. In the thousands of years that has passed since the Titans, only one of the old gods' prisons has been found. On the northern borders of the wintry land of Northrend lies an ancient Titan complex. Explorers to Northrend entered the superstructure, expecting to find a city, or a vault, or a grand monument to the Titans. Instead, they encountered the Watchers, wardens left behind by the Titans to guard the prison and keep the horrors within entrapped. Loken, Thorim, Hodir, Tyr, Mimiron, Freya. These were the primary Watchers left in the Storm Peaks to watch the Old God, and have remained there for millennia, carrying out their duty. When the Titans left, the Old God in Ulduar began his work. Over the course of the centuries, the curse of flesh consumed the Earthen, the Mechanomes, the Tolvir, the Mogu, and other Titan creations, transforming them into beings of flesh. The dwarves came about in this manner, descendants of the Earthen stricken by the Old God's disease. As the Old God's influence extended beyond his prison, the world tree, Vordrasil, became corrupted by the Old God's stench. The Night Elves who planted the tree destroyed it after discovering its taint. When the Furblogs took the ruined stump as their home and summoned the demigod, Ursok, the tree's corruption seeped into the demigod, fouling his mind. Adventurers exploring Northrend were asked to free Ursok of his madness. When freed, Ursok warned of an ancient evil beneath the tree, the old god, Yogg Saron. Northrend is littered with pockets of the old god's madness, sprung up in the form of Saronite. The Saronite mines and the Whispering Gulch, two areas brimming with the Saronite, are known to drive explorers mad. Whispers can be heard in the Whispering Gulch.
Kill them all before they kill you.
And the deranged explorers there are quick to tell you that it is coming. When the Scourge came to Northrend and invaded the Asjul Empire of the Nerubians, many Nerubians buried underground to escape, where they were met with the Elder Being's tendrils. The Old Gods sent Faceless Ones, a race of beings created to serve the Old Gods, to contain the threat, and the home of the Nerubians became a place of both undead scourge and Old God horrors. The Old God also corrupted Loken, his chief jailer, turning him against his fellow Watchers. The Watcher began to create iron dwarves and other constructs for his master. After learning of Loken's treachery within the Storm Peaks, and assisting the Watcher Thorim, mortals accompanied Bran Bronzebeard into the Halls of Stone, a wing of the larger Ulduar complex. There, they searched for answers, where they learned of the true depths of Loken's corruption. The heroes turned to the Halls of Lightning and confronted Loken. With his death, however, Loken warns,
My death heralds the end of this world.
A beam of light erupted from the globe of Azeroth in the room, shooting off into the sky. The warning had been sent. Eventually, it was Bran Bronzebeard himself who delved into the prison of Ulduar and discovered its terrible secret, and quite quickly the races of Azeroth were summoned to Northrend to contain the threat looming over them. The Scourge, which was the original reason for the expedition into the Frozen Wastes, was put aside as they fought the uncovered evil, Yogg Saron. Heroes were sent into Ulduar to cleanse the Watchers corrupted by Yogg Saron, of which Tyr was curiously absent, and, inevitably, to confront Yogg Saron. they were met with madness, visions, and the hideous sight of Yogg Saron's surfaced form. A tangle of tentacles, flesh, and teeth, Yogg Saron lives up to its title of the Beast with 1,000 Maws. Grotesquely hideous and unambiguously nightmarish, Yogg Saron poisons those who draw near with such a deep insanity that they are likely to turn on their friends for their newly acquired master. During the epic encounter, the heroes broke through the insanity with the help of the cleansed Wardens, and found the old god's own brain, where they were met with 3 visions, 3 instances of history twisted by the old god's influence. Firstly, the creation of the Dragon Soul by Northrend and the Dragon Aspects during the War of the Ancients, after much whispering from the malign evils and giving rise to the betrayer known as Deathwing. This leads to the conclusion that Yogg Saron is one of the 3, one of the conspirators mentioned by Crassus during the war in the novels The War of the Ancients. The second vision received was of Garona Half-Orcan's assassination of King Lane, which led to an end of the First War, suggesting Yogg Saron had a hand to play in that affair as well. The third and final vision was of the Lich King torturing Bolvar Fordragon, during which Yogg Saron comments,
"He will learn! No king rules forever! Only death is eternal!"
An event that had not yet come to pass, but shortly thereafter did. An event that the old god seemingly had influence on, despite his apparent defeat. Did the old god manipulate the events leading to the arrival of Azeroth's forces to Northrend to battle the Lich King? Or does Yogg Saron's influence live on? With the knowledge that the old gods cannot die without chaos befalling Azeroth, and the knowledge from Y'Shaarj that even in remnants of the old god can madness and manipulation manifest, it is safe to bet that Yogg Saron continues to lurk beneath Northrend, and influence its denizens to this day. Yogg Saron and the Wardens set to watch his prison were not the only things to be fought within Ulduar. The Titans left a failsafe should Yogg Saron break free and begin ravaging the world within the Watcher Loken. With Loken's death in the Halls of Lightning, the Titans were alerted of the dangers to Azeroth, and sent Algalon the Observer to investigate the source of the threat. Should the danger possibly lead to devastation, Algalon was to contact the Titans and recommend reorigination, which would destroy everything living on the planet. It was up to the heroes to convince Algalon that Yogg Saron had been thwarted, and that mortals could protect Azeroth without the Titans' destructive interference. With the old gods surfacing, and the races of Azeroth learning how deep the gods' manipulations can stretch, they would become wary of the 2 still hidden beneath Azeroth. But they would learn that the next old god they would face is more secretive, more careful than either before him, and they would discover that it is not only the living old gods that pose a serious threat to Azeroth, but the slain ones as well. In the next video, we will turn our attentions to these 2 old gods hiding in the shadows, N'Zoth and Y'Shaarj.